Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the threeohtake, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the threeohtake, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 475. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate. Happy Backyard Baseball launch day.
No.
That's what I'm leading off with. You lead off with whatever you want.
No.
That's what I'm opening us up with. It's a big day.
Oh, you're hurting right now. You're hurting.
What a joke. You know what? I said I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it. This postseason has taken a turn, and I'm not.
A week ago.
Oh, a week ago, this was the best postseason. We were tracking for the best postseason maybe of all time.
It was a difficult turn for you.
And now
Phillies get knocked out, and suddenly you're...
No, it's not just that.
Losing steam.
It's who the Phillies lost to. It's who just punched their ticket to the ALCS tonight. Like, it's just...
This one?
It's...
That one.
It's too much. It's too much.
You're hurting.
I hate
I'm
this.
sorry. I'm not that sorry.
I'm over it.
Are you going to be okay, though?
I mean, I think you said it best. Like a week ago, I was in a great headspace, but truthfully, this all just happened so fast that
in between episodes, honestly.
I'm still reeling from just all that's happened the last couple of days. And we're obviously going to get into it here, but like, I mean, joking aside, like, some of these storylines that I was really excited about have just fallen by the wayside, and we'll have to wait till 2025.
It's understandable.
I mean, I was really pulling for a Bobby Witt, just magical postseason run, and we didn't really get that.
I think that's what makes it tougher, which I can feel a little bit for you, is that I don't know if we've seen, outside of like a couple teams, we'll get into it, but like I think the teams that specifically just got knocked out, it didn't feel like it was that much of a fight. It didn't feel like it was that rough of a scrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't see their superstars light it up. The Phillies did. I mean, their guys showed up. I think Bryce Harper and Nick Castellanos did well.
No, who?
I think Castellanos did well.
You named the two guys that showed up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the superstars for those teams that did well for the Phillies, but you didn't feel that for the Royals. And it wasn't like there was much of a fight between the two teams. It seemed like there wasn't much of a nail-biting scenario. You know, it never really felt magical in a way.
Yeah, but I mean, shout out to the teams that are moving on and the fans of said teams, Nate. I mean, tip of the cap. Congratulations. I mean, I
got that prediction right too.
I don't really mean it, but yeah, that's the other thing. Can we revisit that real quick? I was just dwelling on my picks. I mean, there's a realistic chance I go over on these division series picks. There's a very, very real chance that happens. I'm 0 for 2 as it stands right now. So that's fun. So, like I said,
you're real life of the party right now, aren't you?
Real life of the party. No, but let's talk about some baseball, shall we? Let's talk about the two teams that have punched, or two series, I should say, that featured the two teams that have since punched their ticket to the LCS. Let's start with the Phillies and Mets. And then we'll get into Yankees Royals. Phillies Mets. We sort of alluded to it. You sort of alluded to it. I could count on one hand, and I'd still have some fingers left over of the Phillies that showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, and the biggest takeaway for me from all this, and I'm sure if you know me at all, if you know where my interests are and who I enjoy following, for me, this hurts regarding the Bryce Harper narrative, because you lose out on yet another opportunity for him to finally get that ring that he's been looking for so long. And I know he's locked into Philly for what feels like another decade, but I'm pretty sure it is close to a decade. The thing for me though is we're quickly running out of years, in my opinion, for him to win the ring as a MVP caliber contributor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to see him win a ring when he's 38 and he's like Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that. I want him to be able to. I want to be able to see him do it while he's in the peak of his prime. And I was texting you about it the other day. 3 years in a row, lost in the World Series, lost in the NLCS, lost in the NLDS. So
it's going downhill. I mean, it's getting worse.
If things track, they're going to lose in the wild card round next year, and then into the unknown beyond that.
I don't want to sound like I'm overreacting here, but I do think the window with this core has closed.
Oh, closed?
I think it's closed. I think
you're
at the end of your prime with certain names. I think a Schwarber, a Nick Castellanos, a JT Realmuto. I think they've gotten to the end of their prime.
Not Schwarber. I'd give you those other two possibly, but I think Schwarber's still going to give you close to 40 home runs next year.
We'll see. This was something that I mentioned. Oh, I think it was during their tough stretch in the second half, where I mentioned that like their roster just makes me a little nervous. Like I don't think the youth of like an Alec Boehm or a Bryson Stott have like moved into the this is my team now kind of vibe yet. I don't think they've like matured enough as that role. And it still feels like, and again, I mentioned like these older guys, like it sucks to say it, but like we're reaching the end of MVP caliber Bryce Harper. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to see this. I don't know how much longer the Phillies and a Dombrowski can continue to fork over these paychecks. I think there's big changes coming. I think there's big moves coming. I think there's going to be some offloading. I think there's going to be some moves made. And it sucks, man, because you're like, this is, on paper, this looks like the absolute team to beat. This absolutely looks like the team that can at least get to the World Series. And it was underwhelming, like all the way around. It felt flat.
I mean, even that late inning win that they had in Philly at home, that, I mean, they were scraping by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
Like you that can't be your shining moment of the series, is you just barely scraping by at home. Like you need to take full on advantage of playing at the bank, and for lack of a better term, like run rule these guys. Like you can't just be barely scraping by, and then when you hit the road, your offense goes missing. Like that was atrocious. I mean, the pitching, I don't know. You go on the road, you lose the Aaron Nola game on the road, which was obviously a must win because if you go to Game 4 having lost the Aaron Nola game, the game before that,
yeah.
Say what you will about Ranger Suarez, but I at that point, if you lose that Aaron Nola game in Game 3, I like the Mets' chances of taking care of business in either one of the next two games if it gets to that.
It just felt like the Mets constantly had a response. Constantly.
The whole postseason. It's
the whole
insane.
lineup. The whole lineup. It's everyone. Starling Marte is just lacing balls to the outfield. Jesse Winker never wears a jersey when they're celebrating, by the way. It's only a wife beater. And he's just always producing. He's always in the mix of whatever's happening. It's hard. I'm struggling to fathom because it is getting past that point. And now we are very much in this team of destiny conversation. Like, it's past the point of logic. It's past the point of understanding. It's constant answers.
I mean,
constant.
Look at the path that the Mets have forged thus far. They did what they did in Atlanta on that. What was that? The Monday.
Yeah, the doubleheader.
Doubleheader of the regular season.
Yeah.
You then go on to do what you did in Milwaukee, down to the final inning, the final out.
Final out, yeah.
You do what you did there. And now you just mentioned it. What many thought was the team to beat coming into this postseason, your division rival, you handle them at home, don't even push it to 5, and now you're on to the NLCS. I say what you will about the Mets. You either hate them or love them at this point.
Yeah.
You can't, you have but no option except to at least entertain the concept or the idea that they're a team of destiny. You don't have a choice.
It is annoying.
And honestly, I thought that I thought that for a good bit about the Tigers, but the way they're playing is not inspiring that same level of like, whoa, keep an eye on this team for the rest of the postseason. Because if they go on to, like, we'll get into it. They got a Game 5 on deck here. Even if they get in, they just don't have that team of destiny feel. And I know that gets thrown around a lot, especially by me. But it's everything.
Everything.
You can't hate it. You just can't hate what the Mets are doing right now. Yeah, you got to respect it. And when you take into account what their starter, I mean, Sean Manaea nails.
What the heck?
Jose Quintana. I mean, I know
what. How did this? What? I'm lost.
If you told me
I don't know where they're from. Like, where's this coming from?
That's what I'm saying. If you told me back in February that there's an eliminate, Phillies got their backs up against the wall in an elimination game. They're trotting Aaron Nola out there up against Sean Manaea.
It's laughable.
I'm saying, okay, who are we pitching in Game 4? Like,
yeah.
And then who are we lining up for the NLCS?
Yeah.
And here we are, the Mets lining up their pitching for the NLCS.
Laughable.
It doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. Yeah. And they've let Pete Alonso get hot. You know what I mean? Everybody's let him. They've let him get hot. They've let him figure it out. I was worried about what that 2-out home run in Milwaukee was going to do, back really truly against the wall. And it's just like slowly brought him back. And now he's like comfortably hitting home runs to right field. What did he have in this series? Didn't he have 3? He had 3 in this series.
Believe so. Yeah.
Lindor, Numbers wise, if you were to break down and look at numbers, and that's what we were doing when we had MVP conversations for the NL, and it was a little silly considering the type of year Ohtani had. But I will say, like, out of respect of watching him play, and like I understand why Mets fans are, bringing that to the table as a conversation. You can see it. Numbers wise, I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're still, you're not in the Ohtani neighborhood yet, but this is what MVPs do. This is what, I mean, that was the calmest grand slam I've ever seen out of a player.
I say what you will. I know that like there's excuse me, an evolution in celebration and the way guys handle themselves on the field. But I just don't know. I don't know how you can look at what Francisco Lindor after that grand slam and think that there's anything colder than that.
Man's heartbeat stayed the same before the pitch, during the pitch, and after the pitch. It just stayed the same.
I mean, you got, on one hand, you got Jesse Winker stripping down naked at home plate.
Wife beater only. For sure. It's just, it makes so much sense that he's a wife beater guy too, by the way.
And then we're talking really about apparel, by the way. We're not getting into like his personal life. I don't know. We're not speaking on that. But yeah, I mean, you just had, we've already listed a handful of guys. You had players, you had Mets show up. You had players, whether they were stars or not, they showed up. Philly, we talked about it with Philly. Outside of Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos in this series, the rest of the lineup was 13 for 100. 13 for 100. I'm sorry, but that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. Being the best team in the postseason on paper coming into it's not going to, that doesn't matter. Having the best home field advantage in the postseason and an insanely incredible, noteworthy record at home in the postseason at the bank, that doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that outside of two guys in your lineup, they went 13 for 100. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and it just doesn't even seem real. That seems like something like a 130 batting average for an entire lineup seems like some sort of historical stat that you would have found talking about like the 1856 Cleveland Spiders or something. Yeah. No, we're talking about the 2024 Phillies. That's what we're talking about.
Big payroll. Big players. Big players. That's tough, man. It's really a tough look. It's really a tough look. I think it's one thing for a team of destiny to come in with vibes. It's a whole nother thing to get buzzsawed. That series didn't feel... I don't think anybody in Queens was nervous at any point.
I think really I think if there were any nerves from Mets fans, and I'm sure like to some degree there were, it's probably just Mets fans realizing and understanding their track record, their postseason history. They're going, okay, how is this gonna how is this gonna go wrong for us this time? But then you get to a point in that series, or at least I hope they got to a point in that series where they go, we're in the driver's seat now because this is not the Phillies team that we were promised. And, rightfully so. Like how many times can you say it? They just didn't show up. And I texted you after the game. I was like, I'm getting to the point where I'm just over with this. I'm over this Phillies team now because it's like, you gave us a good run back in 2022, and then you didn't get quite as far last year. Didn't get quite as far this year, and it's just getting to a point now. It's the same thing that I asked about the Orioles team when they got bounced by Kansas City, where you go, at what point, like how many more falling shorts from the Phillies is it going to take before we start asking the question of maybe this Phillies team isn't cut out for a World Series like we think they are?
Very true.
I don't know. And I know
It's
I'm harping
very true.
I'm harping a lot on the Phillies right now. The Mets are the team that advanced, but it was just this was just one of those examples where I think myself and probably a lot of other people just did not see this series going this way. So it's still a little bit of a shock to the system. But good for the Mets, though, for real. I mean,
couple notes. I think. Did you see the post game interview with Castellanos? Through like a lot of respect towards the Mets.
Yeah,
like,
I caught some of the quotes.
Very like a very
afterwards.
classy interview. Very classy interview. I felt good about that. I think I don't know. Just only seeing him play, I felt like it was more Machado-esque than not. And this felt, I was like, whoa, my man's speaking well. He's classy. He's giving credit where credit is due. And I think he hit the nail on the head. He's like, do I think they're a better team? No, but they outplayed us. They played better. My other note, how do you feel about the Mets crying? Did you see that?
I did. Yeah.
What did you think there?
I don't, the second the game was over, I sensed that there was just a lot of like, this might sound weird to some people, but I just sensed that there was like a lot of emotional release where it was almost like there was this monkey on their back that you couldn't really define what the monkey was, but it just felt like there was this release where they're like, okay, we haven't won the World Series yet, but we took out the Phillies of all teams, and we can just like ride these good vibes into the NLCS. And there just seemed to be this collective sigh of relief, not just amongst the players, or not just only amongst the players, but amongst the fans as well. And I don't know like what the mindset is there. Like, I don't know if they're still kind of feeling like, hey, we're just happy to be here at this point, or if they legitimately believe at this stage in the game that they can run the table with this thing.
I didn't love the tears.
Yeah, I say all that to say that I feel like it's a little early for that. It's like you haven't won anything yet, but I could understand.
Super early.
I could understand, like, there's been a lot of you got to remember, these boys are run down.
I understand one guy.
Sure.
I saw 3 or 4 guys crying.
These guys are worn. These guys are tired, man. They've been say what you will about the Mets. They've been grinding. They've been on the road. They've been.
I get it.
Road warriors.
Just interesting. That's all. That's one of my takeaways there.
Let's talk about another New York team that's punched their ticket to the LCS. The Yankees. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. So the question has to be asked: are we looking at a situation, Captain Phillips style, where you're up in the navigational room of the ship and you see Giancarlo Stanton kick open the door and say, "I'm the captain now"?
This is your first question after they win the series. This is your first.
This
thing
is
you gotta
me.
bring up?
This is me giving credit to Giancarlo Stanton and recognizing that your superstar.
Yeah, this is you falling into the only thing Bob Costas and Ron Darling could talk about. Literally the only thing. Look,
I'll say the same thing about Bobby Witt on the other side of the field. You have the top 2 MVP candidates in the American League on the same field for 4 games, and neither of them showed up. This was me. This isn't me like picking a fight with Aaron Judge or Yankee fans. This is me like, sure, kind of like backhanded giving Giancarlo Stanton a compliment, but like he showed up.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking, like, is this, at least for the remainder of this run that they're on, like,
no. I told you if you, I watch a lot of baseball when I see certain things from Aaron Judge, when I see certain takes, when I see certain swings, I can tell when it's coming. I can tell when it's coming. It's coming. He's fine. Like I'm genuinely not nervous. I'm genuinely not worried. It's coming. It's a tough little stretch. I get it. I think it's very tough that past postseason stats are being carried in and it's already an immediate narrative 3 games in that he's already dealing with. I get it. I'm not saying it's not happening.
But that goes beyond 3 games, though. He's a 203 hitter in the postseason. He's had 13 series
I'm not
in the
going to
postseason.
sit here and say that 2019, 2021 Judge is the same as this Aaron Judge.
No.
So I'm not going to look at old numbers. I don't care. I don't care about any of those numbers. I see a struggle starting off because this first round bye BS is not an advantage.
I'm with you on that one.
It's insane to make a team take 5 days off for the first time since spring training. This is not an advantage. And you're going to see, you already see 1, you're going to potentially see 2, maybe 3 more teams that are also going to get bounced from after having that first round bye. It's tough, dude. It's hard to sit there and just expect 60 home runs, Aaron Judge, to be the same after taking 5 days off. I'm not stressed. I think it was a tough first few games. It's definitely a lot of pressure on him. And you saw Bobby Witt act the same way the first couple games, especially in New York. Like he was very much kind of just out there feeling for it. Didn't really have a sense of discipline in any way. But I think the last 2 games for Aaron Judge looked different. He's talking 2 fly balls to the track, talking a smoked line drive right at Bobby Witt. I mean, those are very close to being a very different narrative in game 3. I think there's good takes. Hit a double tonight. I think there's good swings. I'm not stressed. Really not worried. Giancarlo Stanton, look out when he gets hot. I'm a little bummed that they're not playing again until Monday.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that I'm a little bummed about is that he's probably going to cool off.
Is it really Monday?
Yeah. Because game 5 has to happen for the Tigers and Guardians on Saturday, and then there's a travel day.
October 14th. That's Monday?
Crazy, huh?
Wow. Yeah, that's wild.
So anyway.
Well, I think, okay, maybe we don't agree here, but I think we can agree that this was probably the least eventful matchup of the division series, correct?
Yeah, probably. Again, like it just didn't feel like there was many nail-biting opportunities. I think as a Yankees fan, seeing how this Yankees team has lost games this season, I saw a lot of things that were like starting to feel that way in this series. But overall, there wasn't like this, tie game or, down 1 bases loaded and, some crazy play happening. There wasn't really any kind of momentum on the Royals side that made it close. But I told you, man, like good pitching, good defense, job well done. I got to double check, but I think I had Quattro, however you say his last name. I had him winning the AL Manager of the Year.
I thought
before the season. Thought I had. I thought you had. I thought I had.
Did you have Stephen Vogt?
I still have it in the notes. Let me see. Do I still have it in the notes?
I mean, what he did this postseason is I mean,
Oh, I do.
who is it?
Quatraro. Is that how you spell it? Quatraro. That's how I wrote it. I thought it was the RT. I never get it right.
Yeah, I had him too.
We had him. Okay.
I had Craig Counsell on the other side. Yikes.
Anyway, I'm just going to say, I mean, it's just like a job well done. They talked about it many times in the broadcast, like, you know, losing 106 games or whatever last year to get into the postseason and winning the division, like, or at least winning the wild card spot. I think there's a lot of good things that are happening. I think they got to continue to add and build around it and just keep going. Things could have been a little bit different, you know, like if a Bobby Witt performs and a Pasquantino's fully healthy, doesn't have, you know, coming back with a finger that doesn't even work. Like,
I mean, they had a couple balls to the track tonight where, you know, and they
I
even
thought
said
that
on the
ball was out, by the way.
yeah, they said it on the broadcast, like maybe a different night. This game looks a lot different. And
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that about anything at any point, like what
Yeah.
if, but there was just really no point for me, at least watching these games where I felt like the Royals were capable of stacking together runs at any point. It was just like at the very most, what you're going to see is them maybe tie it up or something. But like tonight, for example, the night they get eliminated, at no point, even when it got a little shaky for the Yankees on the mound, because there was a couple of those instances, you know, runners get on and all that. At no point was I like, this Royals team is not only going to tie it here, they're gonna take the lead late in the game. I just didn't feel like there was that. I didn't feel like they were capable of that momentum at this point. And I think it just speaks to what I said earlier about this just feeling like it was the least eventful matchup of the four matchups.
Yeah, and it's not like the Yanks like really went out and like shined that much. You know what I mean? They left a million runners on base. Like, yeah, exactly. They left so many people on base. The Royals, I said this is a team that doesn't beat themselves. They walked a lot of guys, but you can counteract it with like, you know, the Yankees led the league in walks. So is that the Yankees, you know, forcing that stuff to happen, or is that the Royals just kind of handing stuff over? And, you know, it's probably a combination of both. But overall, I mean, Garrett Cole got another opportunity to kind of redeem himself after a rough start in game one. Weaver seems to be very comfortable in the closer role. I got to give props to Clay Holmes, just kind of going out there whenever he's asked to, and he's done really well. So, yeah. But my biggest props, I have one prop that I got to send, and it's the biggest one. Shout out my wife. I surprised her with an idea, something that I don't think I realized quite well, is that I don't know if she's like had the opportunity to really like learn baseball through me. And I was like, I think it happens so fast, and I talk with the lingo we talk with, and I think a lot of it just goes over her head. And she's sitting there and she's not really understanding like why it's a big moment or why I'm reacting in certain ways. So my idea,
I think I saw this.
get a couple books, man.
There you go. There you
Got
go.
a couple books. We talked about it. This is like a fun thing to do. And I was like, you know, I think this will be a good way for her to not just learn, but have something to do while she's watching the game and understand what some of this stuff means. But I mean, look at this first book, dude. I mean, that's a clean.
Looks good.
That's a clean book. You know,
looks good.
And Sharpie. Most people recommend pencil. It's like, well, she's got a whole box of Sharpie markers that she want to have fun with.
Hey, who knows? If they go on to win the whole thing, you might
Royals
be able to frame
in yellow,
that.
by the way. Yeah, so I was like, you know,
Good idea. I like
let me
that.
just order that on Amazon real fast. It's $8. It's just get a couple books.
I like that.
Learn how to do it. So yeah, shout out my wife. She loved it. She said she wants to do it the rest of the games. So I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Nate, just out here doing the most. Gotta respect
That's it.
Any other thoughts on the series before we move on to Cleveland and Detroit?
Oh, Jazz Chisholm, shut up. Please stop talking. Keep your mouth shut, please. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't need any of that now. Literally did nothing after saying that too. So, yeah. You're not that guy yet.
Last thing on that series, another riveting benches clearing brawl between the Royals and Yanks tonight.
Yeah. Real exciting.
That was massive.
It was, again, Jazz coming over and just like stirring the pot.
By the way, talk about props. Yeah, Jazz definitely needed to keep his mouth shut, but tip of the cap, Anthony Volpe handled that situation very well. Very well.
Yeah.
I mean, all things considered, it really wasn't a thing to begin with.
It wasn't a thing.
But
Jazz made it a thing.
But hindsight, looking back on it, like he could have made that a thing the same way Jazz made that a thing, but he handled it very well. So
I will say that was a later slide. It was a spikes up slide. It was a deep into the play kind of slide. Volpe ate it, and it wasn't like a shove tag. It was just like we fell into each other and like.
Well, he swatted the tag attempt.
Let me confirm that tag right here in the chest, and then pat you on the back, send you on your way. Glaber coming in, saying no, come on, let's go.
We're good.
It's Jazz. That's what I'm saying. Like there's just provide, just provide good defense. Good defensive series, but produce something at the plate before you just unnecessarily give. What did you say last time? Bulletin board material for the Royals. So yeah, we don't need any of that.
Yep.
Anywho's,
let's talk about these game fives. I would say the best phrase in sports, but it's not. It's game 7, but it's basically what we got with these game fives and. Quite honestly,
not feeling it.
I don't know, man. Well, no, I was just going to say, quite honestly, I don't know how I feel about this for the Tigers because I just feel like if you were going to do this, you needed to put them away tonight, in my opinion.
School coming back out.
I know, and I'm probably gonna eat my words here, but like, how many times can you go to that well before it bites you?
Well, this will be his 3rd start of the postseason already. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wild card round.
Yeah.
Game 2 of this series, I believe.
Yeah, nails in Houston, nails in Cleveland.
Yeah, man.
Do you get what I'm saying though?
Yeah,
I know he has shown up every single time they've given him the ball, it seems.
Yeah.
But like
that bullpen looks gassed. Their bullpen looks gassed.
Yeah.
Like this has got to be a 7-8 inning start from Skubal, I think.
Which he's shown no signs of slowing down, but like you got to think behind closed doors, he's probably a little gassed too.
Oh yeah, big year too.
Huge year.
Do we have the probable for Cleveland?
So I found something out today. I was trying to track down some numbers, and did you know that you can't just type guardians.com and expect to go to
Let's get you like Galaxy of the Guardians or what?
No, it goes to like, let me see here.
Oh, like parental guardians?
No, it takes you to like,
I'm out of Guardians.
It says this domain is available for sale on GoDaddy. Not sure why that's available. So you think, okay,
time for us to make some money. Let's
there you go. Well, so here's my thought process. Here's my thought process. Yeah, I mean, we make that deal. we can talk. We'll talk numbers with the guards.
Yeah.
But no. So I was like, oh, duh. I left out Cleveland. You go to Cleveland. If you remember when this whole name change thing happened, the Cleveland Guardians are like a roller.
Yeah.
Roller derby team. So I'm looking for probables and like home road splits, and I end up on a roller derby website. Not sure.
Speaking of splits,
if I like that. Speaking of splits, what do we got? Today is the 11th.
Do you know what like the process or like the point of roller derby? Is it a race?
I think so.
Racing?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so. TBD, by the way, versus Scooble.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Guardians offense seems to be starting to like heat up, especially tonight. You know, certain guys showing up. Like we were waiting on J-Ram, and he got a hold of one.
Well, you say heating up. It quite literally would have had to have happened tonight for that to be true, because you look at the 2 games prior to that, they had gone 20 straight innings without scoring a run.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, of like to be able to force a game 5 when you're going through that kind of stretch. It's impressive, you know?
That's a good point.
And I think David Fry got into one tonight. Like some of your role guys, you have to start stepping up.
Player of the game.
And that's what would make me nervous if I'm a Tiger fan. Is that the Guardians are starting to get a little moving. J-Ram's from the right side tonight too, you know? So it's like going to be facing Scooble, staying on the right side. Maybe I can get into another one. David Fry, I mean, like you got to rely on your righties. That's who we should have our eyes on in the Guardians offense.
David Fry was doing a little bit of everything tonight. He had the 2-run bomb, and then he had that squeeze in the 9th, which I just love to see. Like you say all you want, like you win postseason games by out homering the other team. I get all that, but also it's nice to sprinkle in a little bit of small ball. You know,
it's about time. I was waiting for a moment like that. I was waiting for a little something.
I'm all
scratch that run across. I love that. Big time. Love that.
That proved to be
also
all they needed.
Can we relax with these game times? Why is every game dealing with shadows? Every single game has the most insane shadows going on. What time is that game on Saturday?
Game on Saturday between Tigers and Guards, 8 o'clock. 8 p.m.
8 Eastern. Good.
Yeah. 8 Eastern. Yep.
Good. Should be after the... Right? 6?
Oh, yeah. No, they'll be...
No. 7.
No.
7 Central. So it should be after the... Definitely after the shadows. Yeah, the shadows have just been kind of crazy, man. And like...
Speaking of crazy, you know who else has been crazy? I shouted him out last episode, Reese Olson. I said it last episode. If the Tigers go on to do something, they owe that man a lot of credit. He went 4 deep, only gave up 1 run tonight. And then, like you said, the bullpen, it just seems to be the well that they're going to, and that's what they got to do. You just got to the philosophy for the Detroit Tigers in 2024. Trot Tarek Skubal out there, figure it out for the next 4 days, and then trot Tarek Skubal out there again.
Right. Correct. Keep those guys, on the offensive side hot. Riley Green, got to do your thing. I saw McKinstry slapped one out to left. There's names in there that can produce. Torkelson needs to be Torkelson of, what was that, 2 years ago? had like 30 plus bombs 2 years ago. That Torkelson needs to show up, and you got to get some offense going. I know that this is what I'm saying though. Like on the counter side, like you're going to Game 5 probably because one of the best offenses in baseball went scoreless for 20 innings. That's a props to your pitching, but at the same time, you can't expect that to be the narrative the entire series. You got to show up offensively. So, good Game 5. I told you, I mentioned this a few times. It's not the sexiest baseball. There's not a ton of superstars on the field compared to other teams right now. But it's good, clean fun when you watch these two teams play. They match up well. They play the game hard. They play the game well. It's good ball.
You sound like a parent trying to choose.
I feel like a parent.
After school activities for their child. It's
good, clean fun.
Good, clean fun. They're not up at the grocery store.
That's right.
Skateboarding like.
That's right. They're hanging out
like hooligans.
Yeah, doing the monkey bars. Good, clean fun.
Good, clean fun. Yeah,
what was that spiral one that like kids would always get stuck in the middle on?
Yep. Game 5 between the Guardians and Tigers. Good, clean fun.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be the preview headline for the article coming out tomorrow morning.
Well, obviously, TBS doesn't know what they're doing, so I can headline any day of the week. I'm free. Hit me up, TBS. You need some help.
Last thing on this Guardians Tigers series, big time moment for Emmanuel Clase coming in there.
Needed that.
Getting that save.
Was that 4 or 5 outs?
That was 5.
I think it was 5, huh?
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the sword to end it on 100. Goodness. Different. Needed that.
He needed that for sure. Dodgers Padres. Oh man, what a series this is
such a good series, dude.
This is the series we needed 7 from.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
I concur.
I'm glad you concur. Game 3, 1-run game. This was sort of a mess on the mound between Buehler and King. Did not have good showings. Buehler, not surprising whatsoever. Michael King, though, getting beat up a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
Just the way it in the fashion that it happened. Especially when you consider Mookie Betts was in the mix there, who had been struggling mightily, but has 2 home runs in the last 2 games.
Could have had 3. Almost.
Could have had 3.
Almost. Yeah, dude, I love this series.
I mean, how do you feel about this? How do you? I know we've pretty much documented the state of this Dodgers team with their injuries and all that, and their pitching trouble. But like, what does this say about a Dodgers team if Mookie Betts can be a huge difference maker in Game 5, and assuming they win that as a result moving forward, like having Mookie Betts in the postseason is a bonus for the Dodgers, given his track record.
Yeah. Just got to stay alive. You know, I think that's their mentality, is that like, how do we stay alive and somehow advance and get Freddie back? But that's the depth that they have. That's the roster that they have. It's the lineup they have. It's, you know, leaning on some of these guys. What was it was Game 4 yesterday that Will Smith got into one, right? Went deep center field.
Yeah, 2-run home run in the third.
Continues to. He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get really, really paid. I feel like him and Santander are gonna get a pretty similar numbers AAV wise. It's a very good year. I love the bet on myself years. You know, I'm gonna bet on myself and show everybody. I love when it works. So fun. Yeah, man. I think it just comes down to pitching. It's just, are they rolling Yamamoto back out? What do we got?
I believe that's the last
plan.
That's the last I saw. Yeah.
Comes down to that. Comes down to
Darvish.
that. I gotta be real. I can't be anything else, guys. I gotta give it to you my way. I really want Mets Padres. I mean, if we're looking at like just dynasty and vibes and excitement, I want that. I need that. I think if the Dodgers advance, I genuinely think the Mets roll through them. I need Mets Padres. And I apologize because some of these games are kind of a weird time of day for the West Coast. And like, I'm still, working and now having a job where I'm not at a desk. So I'm not able to watch games the way I used to. Cease came out for game 3 for a couple innings, right? No, game 4, he came out for a couple innings.
Now you're getting me confused. I
Didn't
thought he
Cease?
was. Game 4 was Cease.
Game 4 was Cease.
Through an inning and 2/3.
And then came out, right? When it wasn't like, what was that? What was the game plan there? Like, what was that about? Was that like just in case?
It's hard to say. I mean, he'd given up 3 at that point. He'd given up the Mookie homer. And then meanwhile, on the flip side, you've got which again, you go back to use the example, you go back to February, you tell me, hey, Padres are going to be trotting out Dylan Cease. And on the other side, or the Padres, did I say Dodgers? Padres are going to be rolling out Dylan Cease. On the flip side, Dodgers are going to be rolling out Ryan Brazier for a bullpen game. In an elimination game for the Dodgers.
Swap that score. Honestly, swap that score.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
it's weird.
Not only do the Dodgers go out and win the game, they secured their largest shutout postseason win in franchise history.
Yeah. Interessante, man.
Just like we all saw coming. I don't
Baseball's
understand.
so weird. Hey. So you, Darvish, I just don't understand. I mean, that's a really quick
Update
hook
though,
for Dylan Cease. So I don't. What was that about?
Regarding Yamamoto, I the update that I did see, and I had to confirm, he's going to be part of the plan, but that apparently the bullpen's going to play a role. So I don't know.
I think everybody's got their spikes on. I think.
Sure, yeah, but it's just a matter of who's getting the ball first.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't understand the quick hook on Cease. Is it like to piggyback him with you, Darvish? Like I'm a little confused there. I don't know. Not like he was lights out. Not like it was like a weird thing to pull him, but it definitely was quick. Am I crazy?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Schultz just looking at that going, maybe we try our luck with the pen, see if we can somehow pull this out. Maybe they can hold it down for us. But worst case,
felt like they punted. And what's weird is that like
no, but that's why I mentioned the bullpen. If you pull a guy like Cease, as good as he is, you're not throwing in the towel with the guys that you have in that pen.
Yeah,
to be
it's a great
specific.
pen.
So
Yeah.
like that's what I'm saying is maybe it was like a quick hook and a situation where worst case we can keep him in the chamber for game 5 if we need to.
Yeah. I suppose.
And she'll maybe have commented on the reasoning. I just didn't catch that, so I'm just giving you my best guesstimate.
Me neither.
How do you feel about the Padres' chances rolling back
I feel good.
into Dodger Stadium?
I think I feel good.
Well, put aside what you want to happen. This
game. I for some reason I'm feeling like this game is solely going to weigh on Manny Machado's performance. If he doesn't perform versus if he does, I feel like he's going to be the X factor. It's on him.
You know who my X factor is?
SeatGeek?
No. Yes, but no. No, SeatGeek's not they're not the X factor. They're the established superstar. Like we don't need to.
Okay.
You know what you're getting out of them. The X factor for me is the X-Man himself, Xander Bogaerts, because
It's fair.
you look at what he's done at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
He's had his moments there, especially in the postseason.
Yeah.
Could have a big AB or two.
It feels like, based on earlier in the series, it feels like this almost had to come back to LA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's
Based
what
on
we
everything that
deserve as
occurred,
baseball
like,
fans.
Yeah. Between fans and Profar and Tatis, like, it just felt like it had to come back to LA. It feels like it's going to be the rowdiest game of all time. But I think that what the Padres are able to do shows that, like, it doesn't bother them. It almost feeds them. So I feel good. I really do. And I think Yu Darvish, I mean, looked great when he threw. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say of the 2 Game 5s, and I kind of mentioned it earlier.
This is must-see TV.
If you were the Tigers, no, for sure. Well, I mean, win or go home games are must-see TV regardless. But the Tigers, for me, was the team that needed to get it done at home. I'm not saying they can't do it in Cleveland, but on the flip side, you go to the NL, look at this Padres Dodgers matchup. Would it have been great if the Padres had done it at home? Sure. But I'm like you were just saying, I'm not necessarily worried about them in Dodger Stadium. And I know there's probably Dodgers fans that are probably going, what are you talking about? Well, I mean, look at what they did the last time they were there.
Yeah.
Should be fresh in your memory still. I don't think they're all that concerned with the external narratives that are going on right now.
Man, it's going to be good ball. Manny Machado. That's going to be the one. The weight of the game falls on his shoulders. Obviously, other guys are going to perform. Obviously, guys are going to show up.
Xander Bogaerts is going to have a huge at bat.
But I think I foresee either a Manny Machado, swing and miss, fall down type strikeout to end the game again.
Shout out Chris Sale.
Or big moment and just absolutely silences LA in the sea of blue and white.
That's cinema for sure, no doubt. But it almost just seems too obvious.
It seems too easy, huh?
Seems too easzy of a pick. That's why I'm rolling my guy Xander. A little sneaky AB to maybe put the nail, maybe not put the nail in the coffin, but give him a little bit of a cushion. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Fair. We'll see.
All right, so how are we doing this? Now that we've covered the matchups, the next time I think I had it lined up for us to cover the just game 1s of the LCS series or the LCSs.
Yeah.
So we're not even going to really have a chance to do our predictions.
That's true.
So how do you want to do this? Because I want to make sure it's on record so that I can be wrong yet again, as I have been so far for this.
Oh, it's going to be one of those weird things. So Monday, we're going to have... We're going to have game 2 of the NLCS done, but only game 1 of the ALCS done.
What?
Yeah. NLCS starts Sunday.
All right. So tomorrow, Friday, game 5 of the NLDS. Saturday, game 5 of the ALDS. Sunday, NLCS starts.
Mm-hmm. And then both
Monday. Oh, they're both playing. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. little weird.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's annoying.
Now I'm gonna be in Miami for that too. So I'm gonna be.
Nice.
It's gonna be a late night in Miami. So how do you? No, I'm just probably gonna be watching The Office in my hotel room.
Yeah. That's why I was laughing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no worries about me. Okay, so how do you want to do this then? Do we just go like hypothetical picks here? Because I mean, it's tough to do hypotheticals not knowing how these game fives end up. Because you could say, well, like based on what we know now, but what if? I mean, God forbid, what if Shohei Ohtani goes out in game 5 and tears his ACL around in first base?
Yeah. So you're saying predictions for the CS based on like 3 different outcomes? Oh my gosh.
Unless you're picking both teams that are already in, then it's easy. It doesn't matter. Well, one of those I know who you're going with, so that takes care of one thing.
Yeah, I got Yanks in 6. Don't
Regardless.
matter who they're getting.
Regardless.
Just because
You're dreaming of a
need it.
Subway
Just because I
series.
need it. I need Padres Mets going 7. Oh, dude, there's like this weird kind of like hopeful dream that if the Padres and Yankees are in the World Series, that I'm going to San Diego. Like, there's like this. I don't think my wife at all agrees, but like
She's not even aware of these plans,
but it feels like
feels good.
Kind of maybe a thing. But at the same time, Subway Series, man. Been a long time. Been a long time since we had that. So,
I mean, I hate to say it, but I would love any of those matchups and the storylines that they bring with them between the Yankees, Mets, Yankees, Padres, or Yankees, Dodgers.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yankees,
that's true. All great
Yankees,
storylines.
Dodgers. Rob Manfred is peeing his pants.
Yeah, dude.
He's peeing his pants.
And Bob Costas is just sitting next to him, just soaking it all in. The historian himself. Is he done, by the way? Or is he done calling games? Or do we know his schedule?
I think he's done. I mean, he
I
sounded
hope
like
it's done. Fox takes over from here, right?
Yeah.
That's huge. That's
Well,
big.
No. TBS.
CS wise.
Yeah. Monday.
Don't
the
do it.
Yankees game is
No!
The Yankees game is on TBS. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
It is.
Enjoy
It
that.
is. This is insane.
Enjoy that.
You're gonna listen to Ron Darling again.
Well, maybe they'll call an audible. Maybe they'll
They
run
need
with a different
to.
crew. Yeah, they have to.
Give
And
me
I'm
the
not-
other one. Give me Jeff Francoeur. Love Jeff Francoeur. I think he does a great job.
Where's Don Orsillo been, by the way? He's usually a TBS guy.
I don't know. Vacay. I'm not
What
sure.
is that about?
Maybe he's on
going on
radio for the pods. Sometimes they
Possibly.
do that, right?
Yeah.
That's a good idea, actually. I might just start listening to John Sterling. Put that thing on mute, listen on the radio.
Is he back, by the way? Has he been back
doing,
for these games?
He's been doing playoff games, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good
it's
for him.
cool.
Good for him.
All
All right,
right.
so you're going Yankees in 6, regardless
Yeah.
who they play.
Right. Actually, no, I'll say Yanks in 6 if it's Cleveland, Yanks in 5 if it's Detroit.
Okay. 6 if it's Cleveland, 5 if it's Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then NLCS. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. At this point, I thought the Royals would be like the sneaky team to take out the Yanks, but like at this point, I probably have them over Cleveland and Detroit, as much as it pains me to say.
Yeah.
But
Good.
NLCS, I'm going
really, really
Don't
good.
act like this is a growing moment. I'm not like you're not winning me over on anything. I'm just being a realist here. And honestly,
will-
if you knew what was good for you, you wouldn't want me to be saying that because the rate that these division series picks are going for me, by me
valid.
going with the Yanks,
It's a good point.
Not
Take it back.
good. Not a good outcome. No, I'm gonna stick with it.
You're doing this on purpose.
Yep. Yep.
Can't say I, don't respect the strategy. You gotta do what you gotta do. I will say the NL side of things truly feels the more dominant side.
Oh, but this is where we get into these multiple outcomes. How are we doing our predictions based on games we don't know yet? So it's going to be the Mets versus the Padres or the Mets versus the Dodgers. I mean,
You want to record again, like later? You want to record? What do you want to do?
not over the weekend. No, simple. Okay, yeah, simple for me. I know my outcomes here. I'll make my predictions because I'm gonna be traveling this weekend. I won't be in until like Sunday night, so it'll be too much of a mess. And we have to
Miami
record.
underwater? Like, how are you gonna be able to get down there?
Yeah,
It's
I'll be
Tampa.
fine. I'll be fine.
Finally, the Tropicana.
Okay,
Getting the teardown that we needed.
Stop. You're falling right in line with those people that were making just tasteless jokes.
Oh.
There was first responders in there, by the way.
Oh man, people are good. People are good, right? That's what I'm hearing. I feel like people like prepared. They got out of town. They knew this was coming. The evacuations happened. I think this one's much better than all this stuff going on in North Carolina. That's really, really brutal. Anywho, this is just a Tropicana joke.
So, well, if we're sharing Tropicana jokes, which I don't agree with, by the way, but this is a joke that I did hear. It wasn't me that said it. Somebody else said it. I'm just passing it along. It wasn't even really a joke. It was more of just an observation. So I'm in the clear there. They just said, so basically what this means is day games, outdoor day games for the Rays in 2025. And they showed a photoshopped rendering of the roof completely gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, Trop didn't actually doesn't look like too bad of a ballpark with the roof gone.
Yeah. It is weird.
That wasn't me again. That wasn't me that said that. I think the Trop jokes are tasteless. There's people whose livelihoods depend on that place, on that building.
They'll figure it out.
I suppose, but anyway, back to this pick.
News.
Back to this pick. It's easy for me. If it's the Padres coming out of this game 5, I'm putting the Padres in.
The World
But
Series.
if it's if it's the Dodgers, I'm going Mets.
That's the same thing. Yeah, I'm the same way. Fully the same way. 1,000%.
So we're gonna have the same picks yet again.
Yeah.
We split up for the division series picks, but we had the same picks for the wild card. Now we're gonna have the same picks for the LCS.
Yeah, I don't love it. You have like a game prediction? Does that matter?
A game? Like in how many?
Yeah. If it's Mets Dodgers, how many games? Mets in.
I go 5.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's fast.
Well, the Padres, I think, just objectively are better right now, at least. Like, I'm not talking about on paper. I'm not talking about payroll, whatever. I'm talking about right now. I think the Padres are a better team than the Dodgers. So I think they would give them a better fight. But if the Dodgers make it to the LCS, I don't see them putting up as much of a fight as Padres would.
Who has home field advantage if it's Padres Mets?
It'd be
Just overall
it'd be the
record?
Padres.
Because they had the top wild card spot.
Yeah, because that's what we were trying to figure. We're trying to figure out the seeding for the last two seeds on that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doubleheader game.
Yeah. I hate this freaking playoff format. They need to fix it. They need to fix this first round bye thing. They tell me I'm wrong. It needs to be fixed.
It's a mess.
All right. So I'm gonna say, yeah. I mean, same thing. If the Dodgers win it, give me the Mets in 6. I have more respect for the Dodgers than you do. If it's
I'm just firing from the hip, dude. I've been wrong on just
Huh?
about everything. I said I'm just firing from the hip. I've been wrong on but this is not my postseason.
So am I.
If you can't tell.
I'm not even putting a dot. It's gonna be the Padres. The Padres are gonna win tomorrow. Manny Machado is gonna do his thing.
Into the World Series.
Padres go into the World Series. Nate is in San Diego, sitting there. What you think?
I like it. On the AL side,
I'll tell my wife that's the plan.
good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. I had Mets over the Dodgers in 5. If it's Padres, I got the Padres in 6. And then on the American League side of things, doesn't matter whoever comes out of the Tigers Guardians series, I'm going to go 6 for both.
All right. Give me one more game on the NL side.
No, I'm going, regardless who comes out of the series, I'm going 7 because all 3 of those teams are at least what we've seen the last 2 days. They're not necessarily clicking on all cylinders. So I think that's going to be just like a scrappy claw to the end, run it out to a full 7 games kind of series for either team.
Okay.
So there you have it.
I'm lost. I lost track. I don't know where we're at.
It's simple.
Predictions.
It's simple. Yankees in 7, regardless who comes out of the Tigers Guardians series. Okay. So that's the American League side.
Okay.
National League side, if it's the Mets and Dodgers, it's Mets in 5. If it's the Padres, it's Padres in 6. Go to bed.
If it's the Dodgers, it's
Mets in 5.
Mets in 6. If it's the Padres, it's Padres in 7. I'm just doing the same thing. I'm adding a game
For the Padres.
for both. If it's yeah.
No.
Yeah. If it's Dodgers,
Oh, you said 6 for the Dodgers.
I have Mets in 6. If it's Padres, I have Padres in 7.
I gotcha. Okay. We're on the same page.
Doesn't matter.
Excellent.
Does anyone care? I don't think anyone cares.
I like having this stuff on record. So
I'm not going to remember when I wake up.
I'll remind you.
The only one I know.
I'll send you a text.
I got the Yanks.
I send you the graphic before I post it to make sure we're on the same page. I added your picks correctly.
We're doing it again? Or are you just waiting until Friday and Saturday are done before you post that? I'm social media free right now. It's kind of nice. Except TikTok. Sometimes I gotta learn. I
gotta wait till the LCSs are set before I post it, obviously.
Right. Duh.
Come on,
Delusional.
Man. Use your head.
Been up
Go to
since
bed.
4:30.
Let's get out of here.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. I was gonna talk about something, but I don't remember what it was.
Were you gonna make another Trop joke? Classless. Classless, dude. Not even gonna give you the chance.
Blowing the roof off that thing.
Stop. I don't know you. Let's get out of here.
Don't go chasing curveballs or hurricanes.
Stop. Okay, stop. Enjoy the game 5s and get geared up for some high quality LCS action. It's gonna be good. I have hope that this postseason can be redeemed. I was a little let down with the way the last couple of days have gone, but I have
tap
hope.
it back in, guy.
I have hope yet.
Get back in.
Anyway, we love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.